In this video, you're going to learn how to become a full-time trader, how to trade full-time, the processes that it takes to become profitable, not only the three-step process on how to become profitable and the truth behind it. I'm also going to give you a structure and a schedule that you can follow and put into your life right now and schedule and fit, no matter if you're part-time, full-time, to transition into living the life of freedom. Really and truly, freedom is doing what you want, when you want, with who you want. It's not about all of these crazy fancy things. It's just about being in control of your life. Now, I will warn you, it does take time. So do watch this video and study it to the best of your ability. But in return, you could potentially be free if you just take one golden nugget away. So enjoy the video. Okay, so let's get into the section of basically how to figure out how to trade full time and how to fit it in your schedule, because one of the hardest things in trading is trying to fit it around your life. And not only trying to figure it around your life, it's like, oh, I've got all of these million things, but I've got my life to juggle. So in this section, in these videos, we're going to break it into three parts. So number one, what did I do? And I worked like 16 hours. Like, my way is the hard way, but listen, even though it took me 4 years, I put an incredible amount of time into it. And also it was at a time where there really was nowhere near as much information as there is now. And there's pros and cons to everything in life. Well, the pros of not having that much information means I didn't have analysis paralysis. I also didn't get overloaded. But the cons is I had to figure out a lot of information by myself. Whereas you guys have all the information, which is good and bad, because again, it goes back to the point I just made a second ago, is you have all of this information to help you improve, but then there's loads of different people's perspective. One may work for that person, A, B, and C. It may or may not work for you. Now, alongside of what I did, I'm going to explain what I think you should do. And then long and behold, I'm going to talk about the truth of how, and the realistic and the kind of realism of trading full time. So let's go into this. So the first thing I want to do is let's talk about the expectations and what you really need to actually kind of have in order to become a profitable trader. And then after we go on to that, we'll go on to these little timings here. So first and foremost is let's just go. Okay, so in order to become a full-time trader, you need to be profitable. Let's just go backwards. You have to be a profitable trader. Now, becoming a profitable trader, you need to ultimately have three things, which is what I've kind of broken this down into. So number one, the basics, WCP 2.0, and then Winner Circle Program 3.0, which is a structure of what I break through. Now, to go through learning the basics, and we have like a whole worksheet and a whole workbook of absolutely everything for you to kind of go and follow and learn, which we've just been logged out. But you need to learn what is a pip, how to trade, how to open an account, how to have a broker account, how do funded challenges work, how do you make money in the markets, how do you do fundamental analysis, how do you do technical analysis, how do you do mental analysis. All of the basics in trading, every single fundamental you need to learn. And to be honest, pretty much I'd say 100% of you guys, actually yes, 99.9% or even 100% of you guys can easily learn this by just watching some beginner YouTube videos, which we've got, which you can go check out on our YouTube, and it will be added onto the worksheet as well, so you can go and check that out to get you up to par, so you have the basic fundamentals of knowing how trading works, how money is made in the markets, and how to improve your edge. Now, once the basics is completely done, and all of these, every single piece of the puzzle has to be there in order to become a profitable trader, is what we call the Winner Circle Program 2.0 mindset. Now, this is the course where we had all the day strategy, the psychology, and becoming profitable. These three sections is what makes you a profitable trader, and everyone must have this when you first come into trading. And what is it? Well, number one is your strategy. Like, how can you literally trade without knowing what you're looking for, without having an entry requirement, without having the mantra, without knowing exactly what it is you're doing in your profession? It's like, I'm trying to be great at marketer, trying to become a great copywriter, become really good at the gym, become whatever it is that you're trying to become good at, but without knowing what the steps are. So for example, let's just say I want to be great at tennis. Well, if you want to be great at tennis, well, you need a racket, you need to know how the ball works, you need to know if the ball wears out, it doesn't fly as well, or how you smash well, how your limbs work, where the power comes from your hip, the power comes from the swing. All of the intricacy details is important to help you become a professional, or even to play at a basic game. Even let's go back to the basics, let's go all the way back, is the basics of this is like, what are the rules of the game? Right, so at the end of the game, let's just say football again. The team that has more goals wins. That's the rules of the game. Then you've got offside, red cards, yellow cards, and all of these things add. So then you understand how to play the game. And to break that down is like, how do you play the game of trading? So once you figured that out, you have to have a strategy to help you win in the game of trading. And then that goes into coupled with the risk. Okay. So basically, like the traits, the edge to help you preserve your money, that psychology of winning. I need to go in with a winner's mindset. I need to have a fallacy mindset. Fallacy mindset ultimately means is I'm accepting whatever fate of the trade that happens, even if it loses, because losing the trade doesn't mean I have done anything bad. It just means the market has not reflected to my edge today. Then we have the to-do list, which I can't show you right now, but that to-do list goes through your strategy write-up, not only through your strategy write-up, your tick boxes, and you've seen me mention this in the journal section and all the other, other sections of the course already. So there's a worksheet for this, so you guys can go and download this. That will be on this one here. If I just show you the workbook, that will be on there. It's just not showing up right now. Now, once you've got the strategy, okay, so we know the rules of the game. We then know how to improve our game. It then is about the consistency of the repetition and the journaling and how to improve it, of doing more of what you're doing right and less of what you're doing wrong. And that just pretty much goes into the same. Let's just go through golf. Okay. Now, if you've got your consistency of your golf swing, you know that, okay, cool. If I do a fade and it hits on the toe, it's going to go to the right. If I'm going to hit it on a draw and it's on the inner, it can pull through. If I turn my arm and roll it over, it pulls to the left. Now, these small details help you control the ball. Well, it's the same thing in trading, which is this whole course, right? This course, and this is focusing on repetition and focusing on me live trading and me showing you everything. You've got to understand, okay, well, if you trade at 9 o'clock, that's going to pull the ball left a bit more. So for example, maybe all the London Open is where the trades wick you out a bit more. So then don't trade London Open. Or let's just say you wait for the first pattern A of the day and it doesn't work. But if you take the second pattern A for the day and it works, then always take the second pattern A. Do you see that? This should be really exciting and really cool, because you really start finding little cool things to add on to help you have an edge to success and just setting yourself up for success. I'm going to do more things that are right and more habitually doing the things that are better. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to be in a good mood. I'm going to be stoic. I'm going to follow my trading plan. I'm going to journal everything. I'm going to do the reps. You cannot tell me that if you don't do all of these things consistently, you cannot be successful. Your time will come, because it's impossible to waver from that. And then once you have just done it enough, it's tip of the scale, you then hit what we call the profitable mark. Okay, so and then from there you kind of scale and improve, but we'll leave that for a whole nother section and a whole nother conversation, a whole nother video. So this is the flow, and this is how you become a profitable full-time trader. And you've got to fit this in. To give you some even extra homework and action is how to fit this within your time in your life. So let's just say we're going to go traditional route of a 9 to 5, and this is similar to how my life used to look like, but maybe even a bit crazier. Is the fact that, well, I've got the wrong time because it's 12 a.m. is that, let's just say you wake up, you have a simple 9 to 5 job, okay? And we're waking up at 5:30 a.m. You work on trading from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. So 5:30, you got 30 minutes to get yourself up, sort your life out. Then 6 till 8, you basically learn to trade or go through, the basics. Pretty much any part of this journey that you're in, you put into these 2 hours. And then 9 till 5 is when you work. So, you finish at 8, and that includes breakfast, traveling to work. So giving you an hour both ends. You finish at 5 p.m., then you still have to get home, and then you're back home at 6 p.m. You have dinner, maybe some family time, and then at 7 p.m. you get to work. So you use your work hours in the day, and then you do your second job in the second part of your day. And this is where it's important to keep working on the second part of your day until it can become the full-time part of your day. And there's no point just going all in, because what happens if it doesn't work? And I'm not trying to break, your spirit and say, hey, it's not going to work. I'm just trying to say, let's set ourselves up for success. If it can't work with me doing it part-time, how am I going to make it work doing it full-time? That's the delusion that a lot of traders have. And here alone, if you're putting in these hours, you're doing 7 hours a day. 7 hours a day, not including weekends. You're literally doing 35 hours from Monday to Friday. That's literally a full-time job worth of hours. And then Saturday and Sunday, if you can put in another 10 hours, that's another 20 hours. So you're literally putting in 55 hours. So 55 hours compounded over 52 weeks, you're going to have way more than enough time, over 2,000 hours into your craft. And now you can start to see, well, hold on, that repetition can really make me successful here. So this is how I used to do it, and potentially how you could do it. Now, the other side of things is basically if you have a part-time is you just want to adjust this. It's like, what time are you waking up? What time are you setting aside for yourself for success? When are you starting to study? Are you doing at least 8 hours of studying? Then once you've done the studying, how many hours are you doing the repetition? Where are you setting yourself up for success? So that's how you can kind of adjust it and how you can kind of put it through. But then when you've got your new life, and then one of the most important things is you've got to understand that you now have all the time in the world. And this is one of the hardest things to correlate and harder things to go through, is that when you become a full-time trader, the hardest thing is to understand that you actually need to spend less time on the charts. And we often get into this job, it's quite funny and ironic, to have more time. But essentially, because we become so workaholic, and the ones that who make it are pretty much those with tenacity, entrepreneurial mindset, work really hard in 16-hour days, to suddenly go from 16-hour days to 2 hours worth of work, it's incredibly difficult for you to do. So you've got to really balance out your new life and replace that with, either hobbies, learning other skills, watching YouTube, build another business, and just whatever it is, so that you're not spending and overspending time on trading and doing things and potentially building the habits of the negative sides to outweigh your positive, which can pull you away from profitability and back into the unprofitable zone. And I've seen it happen, and it's very, very possible. So you've got to really find a balance of your life. Now, before I go on to the truth, if I look at this and this is what I did, and I would advise you on how you would do it again, I would pretty much follow the same formula I had, but the difference is I would spend an extra hour rejournaling, obviously what I've mentioned in this course, to work with the previous video of how I would journal again, is to journal what I did, to have the accountability, to put it in the public eye, and just invest more. I only had a few mentors, but I think if I invested way more into other traders, other networking, get more information, review all the information, put the work on all of the information and get it for myself. So for example, you learn from me one thing, you go and learn 10 things outside, you can write all of that information onto your journal and then really develop from there. So that is pretty much it. I think this is one of those most golden nugget videos out there that can really change your life in trading. And the final bit we want to go to is the truth about trading. The truth about trading is one setup, one pair, and literally just one time session can make you financially free. It's incredibly difficult to do because I do, 2 tries. Sometimes I do 2 sessions. I trade all over the place, but that's bar my fundamentals. Once I've got through that phase of doing it for 3 months and getting it through, I can trade when I can, and that's the experience. And you have that flexibility. It's like it's like the same thing as working from home, right? You've earned that flexibility of doing what you want when you want, because you can get the job done. Now you have to understand that once you get to this level, it's not about the results of the P&L. It's actually about the results of your process. Are you staying up to date with your daily report card? Are you staying up to date with your trading? Are you staying up to date with your community? Are you staying accountable? Are you continuously looking at improving your life? Are you gymming? Are you meditating? Are you praying? Are you grateful for God? All of these little small intricacy things make an absolute effect on trading. I said it before and I'll say it again. Fundamental analysis and technical analysis is incredibly easy to understand, and 100% of you guys can pretty much be proficient or professional at it within a year or two's time. The mental aspect is the hardest part. The mental game of trading is incredibly hard. You have to stay on top of yourself, be consistent, be accountable, and be humble. And from there, you will find success. There is no way you cannot, because you're putting in the work and the process, and the formula is there, and the results will come. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. See you in the next section. And for the YouTube people, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do want to join the program, so be it. Now we're obviously live trading for 4 weeks. We have all the course that's being drip fed, this is one of the episodes. Not only that, if you do see this in the future, you can get recording for all of these, and you can have access to Winner Circle Program 2.0, 3.0. Just join the Discord, open the ticket if you want, check out the website. And yeah, the investment is only $2.99. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Champ out. Peace. In 4 weeks, I'm going to teach you everything I know when it comes to trading, and this is more for those who pretty much have a little bit of a strategy. And don't worry, stay to the end, I'll explain more as well. I'm also going to be trying to trade for 4 weeks and make $2,000 live in front of all of you guys to show you how I do it and implement everything I'm teaching to you guys live for you to watch. Now, if I don't make $2,000 in 4 weeks, I will just keep trading until I do, and I'll be sharing with you the Tradezilla, the account that I'm using, losing, everything completely transparent so you can learn from it and see the power of the markets. And the reason why I'm doing $2,000 is, for me, honestly and truly, $2,000 was what I was trying to look for when I first started trading. It's enough to pay for your rent, it's enough to live a lifestyle. It may not get you all these flashy things that these people try to flash, but it does have enough of an impact to change your life. So my name is Dan Chung, aka Champ. I've been up to 2.5 million funded, been on the FTMO leaderboard, done over 400k in payouts, and also had plenty of students who have been funded and got payouts up to 800k, and also some others who have had 32k payouts as well. In this program, I'm going to be teaching you how to journal, how to read the markets. I've actually got 10 examples of how I read the market and how every time I've called the market it's come into play. But that's not the hard bit. Calling the markets is actually somewhat easy. Most people can understand the technical analysis. However, taking the trades and also being able to manage the emotions of calling everything right and still losing and being okay with that is what I'm going to teach in this course. Not only that, in this program, I'm going to show you how to apply everything. And of course, as we mentioned, to make that $2,000 live in front of you guys to show you how it's done. Within each week, there's going to be 2 episodes dropped, or maybe even more with bonuses, to make sure you follow that roadmap and become the trader you said you would be. Now, I've previously tracked everything on Twitter. I've had it tracked on YouTube. I've shown you guys the dashboard. I've shown everything transparently. And because I'm pouring my heart and soul into this new course, this is the first time ever I'm doing this. I'm literally going to do a money back guarantee. Time and time again, I do everything for free. And not only that, right now, literally, it's going to be a money back guarantee. So if you buy the course and within 30 days, you have not learned anything and you've done nothing, you can request a refund with no conditions at all. So right now, the risk element is 0 and the reward element is an abundance. Remember, there could be one thing in here that could absolutely change your trading. It could be the way I explain the compound effect, how we do dynamic risk, how we read the markets, how I actually explain and break down one of my live trades. And let's just hypothetically say one of our students who did that 32k, imagine that is nearly 1,000% ROI from that 299 you just have to invest. So if you want to learn to trade, we will be giving a free beginner's guide. We've got the 3-step strategy, which is from Winner Circle 2.0. We're going to show you how to become a profitable trader. We've got a community. You're going to see me live trade. You're going to have access to my journal. You're going to have access to me and my team. Show you how to read the markets. And the only commitment that we're asking is the £299 or $399. And even after that, you could request a money back guarantee. So doesn't that sound fair enough? So I'll see you guys inside.